Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Primetime Local News. Thursday. Almost Thanksgiving.
The day before Friday.
Yeah, but it's Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday of the year.
Turkey?
I'm not so much the turkey, but the other stuff. And you're talking harvest today.
Yeah, I broke the ceiling. This is my first time driving a combine. It was a huge rush.
Can you parallel park it?
You parallel outwards. The main thing is to make sure you can drive and make sure the grain gets in the grain cart and don't spill it. Ooh.
All right, we'll have to see if you got the grain in the bin. That's a little bit, that's a little bit later. But first, we're gonna check in with Elise for a look at your local news. And Lakeland College is seeing fall enrollment numbers that are breaking the 2017 record. There is an increase in students taking agricultural sciences and human service programs, and the new facilities could be a big reason for the draw.
A couple of reasons for that. One is the new Dairy Learning Center that we opened last year. We would typically get 8 to 10, maybe 12 students come to take our dairy program. But since we've opened the new Dairy Learning Center, there's been a lot more interest. And this fall, we have over 30 students enrolled.
With the enrollment on the rise, Lakeland College does want to make sure that class sizes and hands-on learning stays at the top of importance for students.
You know, we want to do everything we can to make sure that they're able to come and take the program they're interested in and start their careers in a field that they've set as a goal for themselves. And so, you know, these wait lists and turning students away is something that we've never felt really good about. And so we're doing everything we can to try and accommodate that demand.
Another big section that is seeing enrollment hikes are with online courses. Offering programs to students that aren't able to relocate is a huge positive. And the Canada Assist Immigration Services here in Lloydminster are renting out Halloween costumes to help support the Philippines after Typhoon Queenie. Each costume costs $10 to rent with a $20 deposit, and all the money raised will be going to the Philippines. There are currently only child costumes and 2 adult costumes, but more adult costumes will be arriving soon.
The Halloween is just around the corner. It's soon, right? So I believe using the costume to raise funds is more attractive to the community.
And the Saskatoon Blades' 59th captain in franchise history is Chase Waters. And as the WHL season gets underway, the North Battleford native who played his minor hockey here in the border city is getting more comfortable with his new leadership role. Brett Holden has more.
Chase Waters played his minor hockey days here in the border city, but now in his 4th season with the WHL Saskatoon Blades, he has been named the captain at the age of 18.
Well, I mean, it's pretty huge honor to be named. I mean, it's kind of something guys always dreamed about growing up. So I mean, it's a huge honor to be named as one of the leaders on this team, and just looking forward to it.
Last season, Waters was given the assistant captain role for the Blades, and his familiarity with the organization has helped his transition into the captaincy.
Got a good support staff around me to help me out, things like that. Coaches, trainers, the other leaders on the team. I mean, it's kind of there's a lot to put, like a lot goes into it, and there's a lot of responsibilities. But I feel like with the guys around me and the coaching staff and everything, I feel like they've helped me out through it.
Waters credits his time here in the border city to the success that he's had on the ice.
Well, I mean, I've learned lots. Lloyd Minor Hockey is a great program for every kid growing up. So, I mean, through midget and bantam, we had a couple of pretty successful years. We went to the national championship in midget. So, you know, I kind of got the feeling of a winning culture, and, you know, I just try to transfer that over here into Saskatoon.
This past summer, Chase was invited to the Tampa Bay Lightning rookie camp, and he hopes Tampa Bay will not be his only NHL stop.
I mean, that was a huge honor for me to be able to go there and put my best foot forward, and I think it went pretty well. So hope to maybe get a chance to go to another one someday.
Waters is eligible for the NHL draft next summer. Brett Holden, Primetime Local News.
And now we're going to go to Brittany, who is at the Buffalo Trail School Division celebrations.
We're out in Vermilion today, and we are doing a big celebration for Buffalo Trail Public Schools, and I'm joined by the superintendent, Bob Allen. Now, Bob, tell me, what are we celebrating today?
Well, this is the 22nd annual Buffalo Trail Public Schools Celebration Day, and it's a day where we come together and celebrate the achievements of our staff in terms of long service, as well as we celebrate some of our students and some of individual achievements by staff members who have been recognized either at the provincial or national level.
And now, we were talking before off camera that there are some teachers here that if you combine all of their years of service, it's 1,500 years.
Yes, it's incredible. We recognize staff anywhere from 5 to 45 years. We have actually someone today who has 45 years of service. So that 1,500 years of service includes 97 people who have committed time to the children and the learning of students for Buffalo Trail Public Schools.
And what does that mean to have some teachers who just continue to teach for that amount of time?
Well, in a world where career change happens quite often, it's actually phenomenal that people have committed to the work that is the important work that we do as a jurisdiction. So it's really incredible that they're here, and we're looking at 9 people who've given 30 years of service to the students of Buffalo Trail Public Schools.
And today we're also recognizing some students who have won some awards. Can you share that with us?
Well, we have a Buffalo Trail Public Schools Superintendent's Public Speaking Competition every year, and today we get to hear some of the students who won gold and silver placements at that competition, as well as we've got individual students who have done some phenomenal things that we're really excited about.
And do you think some of those students can out-talk you?
Absolutely, yes. They're fantastic public speakers.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, Bob. And we're going to have more of this coming up later on in the show, but right now we're just going to head back over to the studio and check in with Michaela to find out what's going to be going on in the rest of this week's forecast.
Thank you so much, Brittany. Sitting at 5 degrees here in the border city, a little bit of cloud cover that is moving over. But we did have some sunshine today, which was a nice break. Looking at our satellite radar from earlier today, there's a few patches of precipitation, but nothing into the area as of yet. And then as we look to our watches and warnings, none currently, which is great. No frost advisory at the moment, and we haven't had one in the last few days, which has been a nice change. Looking at our current temperatures across the region, 8 degrees in Edmonton, 10 in Jasper, so these areas have warmed up significantly. 10 in Athabasca, 9 in Whitecourt, 6 in Meadow Lake, and 4 in Prince Albert. As we move to North Battleford, currently 5 degrees with some cloud cover. Overnight, that cloud cover is going to start to dissipate, -5 for the overnight low. Areas are going to feel more like -8 to 9 overnight with that wind chill. Tomorrow, sun and 8 degrees for the high. Cold Lake, currently 7 degrees. The sun is trying to peek through. Overnight, those clouds are going to dissipate. -3 overnight, but again, it's going to feel more like -8. Tomorrow, a high of 6 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud in the area. Currently sitting at 5 degrees here in the border city. Overnight, going to be a clear sky, -4 for our overnight low, but it is going to feel more like -8. And tomorrow, a high of 8 degrees with some sunshine and cloud mix. So for the weekend, our long weekend, Saturday is going to be our warmest. We're going up to 8 degrees, which is going to be a nice change of pace. -5 for the low, and then Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud, again, high of 7 and -1 for your low. I'll have more details, including your holiday Monday forecast, a little bit later in the show. DeGroo's new freedoms were approved by the Alberta Review Board after his treatment team vouched for his progress and reduced risk to the community. And while some producers have struggled, others are making the best of a bad situation. In this week's Agriculture Report, Gerard Lampout gets behind the combine wheel to bring home Harvest 18.
This year is a challenge, to say the least, and I want to get going on it and get it done.
Well, this is called the most wonderful time of the year, if not the most exciting time of the year. It's when producers look at all of their hard work and said, it's time to get the swat, to get the crop in the bin.
We're up here because this is the driest spot of the field, and it's 17, the new 14.5.
Producers like moisture at 14, but given the conditions, combine driver Otis Rustling admits they will take what they can and dry it later. This wheat field is 160 acres. It's the original homestead of the Heath family. The wheat goes towards making ethanol.
You can sell it local to the Husky, or actually you can sell it to other places, but he likes delivering to Husky. It's local.
Sitting in the cabin, one of the maneuvers is driving the combine parallel to the grain truck while emptying the grain.
It's the way you have efficiencies. By the combine actually rarely stops. It just back and forth, and the cart picks up the grain, and you're not stopping for anything.
Except perhaps for meals in the field or a rest break. This combine has a 330 bushel tank and runs between 3 to 4 miles per hour to get her done.
Well, we're doing about 30 acres an hour, so about 5.5 hours, I guess. But as long as you don't have any little snags or short runs, and this field's got nice long runs.
Daylight hours are getting less, and given the overnight frost, the crew doesn't get going before early afternoon.
Swath it and pick it up. That's what the plan is. So we're getting after it.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Center. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Center with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
Welcome back, everyone, as we have a look at our leading stories in the world of sports now. And it's been relatively a typical preseason rather, for the men's volleyball team at Lakeland, but a rather eventful one off the court for Jose Arellano, as the third-year setter was at home in Honduras, training with the national team at the start of the season there. And he had decided to leave early and get back to his teammates in Lloydminster when he found himself stranded south of the border.
That when I renewed my study permit, I didn't renew my visa, so I was basically not allowed to return to Canada. I was allowed to be here, not allowed to go out of the States and come back.
Arellano drove an hour north from the airport in Houston and stayed with friends, attending Texas A&M for 2.5 weeks until his passport came in.
When it's gonna come back, like my passport, so it's just like frustrating to just wait and have no response at all, like time frame. Just going to the gym and trying to keep my mind off of everything.
Well, having been a week, he says this made him value his Lakeland experience even more.
But you know, like getting kicked out of school and losing my scholarship, it just made me look at things differently, I guess. Like, just so glad to be back and stuff.
Well, Arellano did say the one positive from the extended stop was getting to watch an NCAA football game in Texas. The Lakeland Rustlers women's volleyball team has this weekend off after a busy preseason schedule, and the squad has dominated most of the exhibition matches, including the past weekend in Red Deer, where they won 4 matches against some of the top opponents in the South Division. The potential starting lineup for the team, which hasn't lost a match this fall, looked especially solid, sweeping their match against the hosts.
Behind in preseason, just with how I structure the process of our preseason, but we looked good.
All of our systems came together pretty well, and we executed what we wanted to, so it was good.
Getting games against the South Division was important, as Lakeland may not face them again until February.
Austin told us after our Red Deer and Briarcrest games that we had to basically write down what we remember from that team, so then we would have it to look back on at provincials, because it could be like a first-round matchup.
Well, the Rustlers open the regular season in Grand Prairie on October 12th. And the basketball teams are in action tonight at Lakeland Gym against, would you believe it, Briarcrest Clippers. In fact, the exhibition games are a good chance for both head coaches to test systems and lineups before the season opens on the 19th. The women's game starts at 7 p.m., while the men begin at 9. That's our sporting news in this round, but Brittany has got everything that's going on with the Buffalo Trail Public Schools with a big celebration. So let's join Brittany Matika out in Vermilion.
I'm joined by Holly Garton, who's being recognized today at this celebration ceremony for 35 years of service within the school division. So now, which school have you been at for 35 years?
I've been at E.H. Walter School for 35 years as the secretary at the school.
And now, how did you become the secretary? It's kind of a neat story.
Actually, I was just going to cover for about a couple of weeks for an admin, our maternity coverage, and she ended up not coming back because she had some difficulty, and so I just kind of inherited the role without an interview.
And you said that you really do enjoy working with children and being a part of their learning experience.
Every day is a wonderful new day. You never know what the next challenge is going to be, and every day is a new challenge. And as the years go on, there's new challenges every day.
And now, being that you've been there for 35 years, you've had students who have then now turned into parents.
Yes, it's exciting. I have lots of parents. In fact, just the other day I had one of the dads come in with the guitar or whatever and gave me the good greeting of "Good morning, Holly," and this is for his daughter or whatever. So yeah, I'm certainly seeing the second generation come through our building.
That's really got to be special. Now, with 35 years, Holly gets to make a donation to her charity of choice. And which charity have you selected?
I've actually selected our school's breakfast program as my charity of donation for this year.
Wow, that's really special. And now, over 35 years, what have you seen change within the school?
Lots of things have changed. We actually have a new building. We've been in it now for 2 full years or whatever, so we've had to say goodbye to our pink building, and believe me, there was some tears shed. I went to school there for 12 years, and then I've worked there for 30-some years, and then to see it go down. But we're certainly happy and appreciative of our new building.
And now, how many principals have you got to see go through that building?
I'm actually on my number 11th principal this year, so that's pretty exciting. Training, they always say, training a new one.
Yeah, you definitely must be an important part of that training, that you know the interworkings of the school and the students.
Right, and you know what, out of those 11 principals, I've got 5 that have become superintendents or deputy superintendents in our division or other divisions, so that's a pretty significant accomplishment.
So what Holly's saying is, if you're a principal at her school, there's a pretty good chance she's going to train you to get you up to the next level. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Holly, and congratulations on 35 years of service within the school division. But right now, we're just going to head back over to the studio and check in with Michaela to find out what's going on in this week's forecast.
All right, thank you, Brittany. Quite an accomplishment down in Vermilion. Look at this photo, though. It's harvest season. This gorgeous shot. I got to get out of the way for this. I mean, gorgeous. The sun is shining. This was sent to us by Keith, and this is from the Maidstone area. And if you would like your shot to be here on Primetime Local News, make sure you send it in. We'd love to showcase it here in our weather segment. Looking at our current numbers around the region, 5 degrees here, 4 in Vermilion, a little bit warmer as we move out west, 7 in Vegreville, 8 in Edmonton, and even warmer as we move up north, 9 degrees in St. Paul and Bonnyville. And then as we move to the other side, a little bit cooler, so we're sitting at 4 degrees in Maidstone, 5 in North Battleford, 6 in St. Walburg, and a high of 3 in Meadow Lake currently. As we look to a little bit further up north, 1 degree in Fort McMurray, 10 in Grand Prairie. Now, they were sitting in the minuses earlier in this week, so quite a significant warm up there. 2 degrees in La Loche, as same with Buffalo Narrows, -3 up here. It's getting cold, you guys. And then as we move down south, 5 degrees in Banff, 1 degree in Calgary, 5 in Lethbridge, and 5 in Medicine Hat, 1 degree in Swift Current, 3 degrees in Moose Jaw, and 4 degrees in Estevan. And the numbers have come in from this week's snowfall. 50 to 60 centimeters in some areas in here in Alberta. It's pretty crazy, that amount of snow that came down south. Looking to our numbers tomorrow, 6 degrees here, 7 in Edmonton and also in Vegreville. And then we're going to see that warm up pretty much around across the board there. 8 in Provost and Macklin, same within North Battleford. And then as we move up the map, 7 in St. Walburg and 5 in Meadow Lake. The next 48 hours, here's a look at your wind chill as we are going to dip into about the -8 to 9 range overnight here in the border city. And it's about a -5 overnight, but it's going to feel more like -8 to 9. Tomorrow, when the kids get the school bus, -3, a mix of sun and cloud, and that's going to continue throughout the day. Recess is going to be 1 degree, lunchtime 4 degrees, and then home time a nice 6 degrees. Looking at our 7-day forecast tomorrow, a high of 6, -4 for the low. Saturday, the sun is going to be peeking out. That's our warmest day in our 7-day trend. 8 degrees there, -5 for the low. Sunday, just losing a degree to 7, 25% chance of precipitation. Monday, we have warmed up. We were sitting in the minus earlier in the week, but we're going to warm up to a high of 3 degrees and no more snow. -3 for the low there. Tuesday, sunshine's going to come back out, a high of 1, and that's the same trend on Wednesday. And then Thursday, just a little bit warmer, but those clouds are going to move back in. 25% chance of precipitation there, a high of 2 degrees and -5 for your low.
I'm joined by Tyson Rudolph, who's one of the students being recognized today. He won the silver medal in the junior division of the public speaking competition last year for Buffalo Trail Schools. So now public speaking is an important skill. Is it something that you find difficult, Tyson?
I found I've always been a very public speaking kind of person. I've always been very out there and talking to other people, so I found it a very easy thing to take up, yeah.
And so you started your public speaking career when you joined 4-H when you were about 7 years old, and now you've continued to grow year after year.
Yeah, 4-H was such a big factor in me becoming a better public speaker. I mean, from club to district to regional, there's so many different types of levels, and you get exposed to so many different kinds of public speaking, so that's really helped me, yeah.
And what do you personally enjoy about public speaking?
I enjoy the communicating aspect. You get to give your opinion on something. You get to help people understand something better, how they can change it and how you can change it as an individual.
And now going forward, as you grow and eventually enter university, how do you think that this is going to benefit you?
I think in post-secondary, it's such a great skill to have. You're able to do presentations better, you're able to meet people better, so I think it's a great skill to have.
And now, what would you share with somebody at home who maybe finds public speaking to be a little bit of a more scary or difficult situation for them to be in? What things would you tell them?
I would say don't be scared. I mean, write something that you're passionate about and just do your best. Go up there and try your hardest. I mean, you just can't be scared, yes.
And so now this year you're moving into the senior division as you are in grade 10 and will be competing against 10, 11, and 12 public speakers. So what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to different topics. We get our topics given to us each year, so I'm looking forward to writing on something that has more of a social aspect to it rather than just the ones that we've done before.
And what is your speech about today?
My speech is about how the world could be 50 years from now.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Tyson, and congratulations on all of your public speaking achievements. But right now, we're just going to head back over to the studio and check in with Michaela to find out what's going on in social media trends.
All right, well, the holidays are pretty much here because Thanksgiving's on the weekend.
So many holidays,
I
hey?
know, and then it feels like it's really early this year, but it just feels like after Thanksgiving, Christmas is around the corner.
Is that a sign of aging when we get to the point we say that, yeah, it comes a lot quicker than it used to so long ago?
It might. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, but today's question stems from that, and I wanted to know, when do you start your holiday and Christmas shopping? Have you started? I haven't.
I have not, no.
Okay, I'm a very last minute person. When do you typically start?
You like to go on Christmas Eve, do you?
Yeah.
And get the real feel of the buzz in the shopping areas.
No, I don't like it, but I do it.
But there's something about that buzz, that excitement.
No, I hate it.
You hate it?
Well, it's too crowded and it's not fun. I just want to read a couple of the comments we have here.
Yeah, let's see those.
Most of you have already started. I'd say probably 85% of you. Christina says she starts in January. So she starts right after Christmas.
That works out well for budgeting, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what a lot of people are saying is that, it really helps with the budgeting. But you still have time to weigh in on our question of the day. Make sure you head to our Primetime Local News. Any of our pages, you can answer your thoughts on there. We'd love to hear from you. But now it's time for Pet of the Day. The best part of every day. This is Puff, the magic dragon, I would say. This was sent to us by Jackie. And next we have Arrow, very sleepy pup there. That was sent to us by Marissa. Thank you for sending that in. This is Errol, the bunny who looks like she's wearing a wig. This was sent to us by Carrie, really adorable there. And then next we have Daisy. Look at that little tutu, and that was sent to us by Tiffany. And then last but not least, we have Grandpa Fuzz. Yes, Grandpa Fuzz. He looks very...
Here comes the fuzz.
Yeah, he looks very enthused. And that was sent to us by Nicole. If you have a photo of your pet you would like to see here on Primetime Local News, make sure you send it to us on any of our social media sites or on through email. Make sure you include your name as well as your pet's name. And if you see your pet on this segment, you will be entered to win a Pet Pad giveaway.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Take a trip to the Wild West tonight with a bit of a Cirque flavor to it on stage at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. It's Cirque Eloise's Saloon, and they've got music from the likes of Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline that really set the stage for this Wild West story. Travel back in time with great music and great performances on stage tonight at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. Coming up on Monday, you've got the chance to be a part of history. If you're thinking, you know what, it was kind of a short summer, I had to put the canoe, the kayak away kind of early, we'll get it back out again, and Monday head for the Vermilion Provincial Park, where they hope to set a new record for the longest kayak canoe parade, hoping to break the Guinness Book of World Records. Things get underway at 9 a.m. on Monday. That's when registration will begin, and they plan to get the parade started at 11 a.m. We want you to win a copy of Paul McCartney's latest album, Egypt Station. And the neat part about this is that the artwork on this album is based on a painting that Paul McCartney did. This album went to #1 for him in the States. If you want to win a copy, it's really easy. Just email your name and daytime phone number to tvcontests@newcap.ca. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. And coming up on Monday, the Olive Tree is hosting a community meal. Everybody's welcome to head down and enjoy some delicious food. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
Buffalo Trails School Division held their celebration and their recognition event for 600 staff and recognized students from within the division today, and had a variety of people on hand to recognize all of their hard work and accomplishments over the past year here in Vermilion. And now tune in tomorrow night, as I'm going to be at Fountain Tire taking a look to find out when you should put those winter tires on and whether or not last year's tires still have enough tread to keep us safe this winter. Thanks so much for joining us, and we're just going to head back over to the studio and check in with them.
All right, thank you, Brittany. At least there's no snow in the immediate forecast for anyone who's already put those winter tires on. Tomorrow, going to reach a high of 6 degrees, -4 for the low, and then Saturday is when we're really going to warm up, a high of 8 degrees there, almost to the double digits, -5 for the low. Sunday, a little bit of mix of sun and cloud, high of 7, and then Monday those clouds are going to come back in, high of 3 degrees, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, a pair of ones, -4 and 5 for the daytime or for the overnight lows, and then Thursday 2 degrees and -5 with a 25% chance precipitation and mostly cloudy there. Averages are still 13, but not there.
Forget
high
the
of 8.
averages.
Yeah, exactly. But we're not seeing any frost currently, but around that 6 a.m. mark is when you are going to see about that really cold with the wind chill in there.
You got 3 -5s in there, and yeah, the kids going to school, that's always an issue there.
Exactly. So bundle up and well, 'tis the season to put on a few pounds to keep warm, right?
I like it.
Yeah, we can start this weekend. Do you do ham or turkey for Thanksgiving?
Oh, turkey.
Oh, I'm doing ham this year.
Really?
Yeah.
We should trade. Maybe I'll bring you a turkey sandwich on
Okay, I'm looking
Tuesday.
forward to it. We'll see you back here tomorrow, everyone.
Yep.
Have a good night.